Hey, this is Veronica with Oh Happy Plants, and today we have a special guest. This guy. This is what some people call a mini monstera. It is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and I will show you the whole plant in a minute. This is one leaf. He's too big to be entirely out of the picture. He's on my lap right now. Anyway, today we're going to talk about something that is common advice that I see floating around on the internet. People will post a picture of a plant that has a couple of browning leaves, and they'll often receive the same advice that plants just lose a leaf once in a while and not to worry about it. And that, don't worry about things like that. If one or two leaves are browning on your whole plant, usually it's not a problem. If the plant is only two leaves and two leaves are browning, then you probably have an issue. But if it's a giant full plant like this guy, he's huge. He keeps going. He's got about a foot up out of the picture that you can't even see. There's not enough space here. Anyway, if there's one leaf on this guy that's brown, I'm not going to freak out about it, but it is telling me something. So that is what we're here to learn. Let me show you. You see Mr. Brown Leaf right there, right? And where that brown leaf is attached down in this pot, he is the oldest leaf in this pot. I'm hiding behind the plant. Anyway, he is right on the soil surface, basically, where the stalk meets the soil. It's the very oldest leaf, the closest to the soil. And let me just show you. On somebody smaller, more manageable, here's this little guy. So this guy has several leaves, and this lowest one that comes out right over here, this guy right here, that's the oldest leaf because he's the lowest. Because his growth tip is all up in here. And so these guys are the new leaves. Oh no, it looks like I had my sons here for the last week and a half and the growth tip is broken. So that's the thing. Anyway, next, sorry little friend. Let me just get this guy back over here again. So anyway, we have this one brown leaf. People ask what to do with it. That's what you do with it. You pull it off. He's a goner. He's never coming back. Once they go yellow, they're never coming back. Here's another one. Look at that. Oldest leaf on the stalk again. Here's a third. Again, the oldest leaf. Now, why are they doing that? That is good information. You want to pay attention to where this dead leaf is located on the stalk because that tells you things. If it's all the way out at the tip, out here, and it's turning yellow, or if there are just random yellows all over the plant, that probably means you overwatered, or you have a mite infestation, or there's a foliage disease, or random other things. Could be fungal, could be bacterial, could be even a virus. Plants get viruses. It's weird. But if the plant has a leaf that looks like this, and it's the oldest leaf on the plant, it is underwatering. I guarantee it. Underwatering. So what they're doing, let me throw a leaf in my hair. What they're doing, sorry, it's been a long day. It's really late, and I'm trapped behind a plant right now, and I can't get my way out. So this little leaf was basically a water bottle for this plant. What happened is I forgot to water him because I don't do the whole scheduled thing. I just go around and check all my plants all the time. I do it not every day, but I'm always looking at them and touching them and talking to them and stuff, so I pretty much notice when they need water, usually, except for this time. So what's going on basically is the older leaves are furthest away from the light source because plants typically grow up and out, right? And so the older leaves are going to be furthest from the sun, so they're the least useful as far as photosynthesis goes. And they're also a little bit older, so they do kind of slow down biologically, just a bit. But they do actually, if you water it appropriately, they do stay useful. So it's not just a thing they get old and die. They'll stay on there and stay good as long as you keep watering them correctly. But the plant's natural response to a drought is to suck the water from this leaf into the plant to keep the rest of the plant alive and to keep it, like this little guy, reaching up towards the light, because this guy is far more useful because he's closer to the sun. He's not covered with all this other foliage than this guy that was down all the way at the base of the plant. And also, if there is a drought, and if this is a climbing plant, which, by the way, he's crazy, he is, you can tell because he has all these little tiny aerial roots all along his stem. But anyway, what was my point? Oh, so this old leaf, like keeping this alive doesn't make much sense, because what if there's a puddle over there? He wants to go find it. So he's gonna go keep that growth tip alive and go find that puddle, or hope for rain or whatever, and he's gonna use this leaf as a little water bottle in the meantime until the rain comes. And we're in a house. I am the rain, basically. I'm a little rain cloud, and so I had to come along and water him. And then immediately, he had, this leaf was brown, and that's what I noticed. I was like, oh crap, I missed him. And he had 1 or 2 other yellow leaves. I left the yellow leaves on there until they went brown, and then I pulled them off. And I also watered him at the same time. A lot of people will tell you that yellow leaves waste the plant's energy, and that is exactly the opposite advice that you need. Yellow leaves, especially if they're the oldest leaf, the plant is taking energy from that leaf, killing it off intentionally. Leave it on there until the plant is through with it. This is what they look like when the plant is done. Crispy. The petiole just pulls right off of the plant. You don't have to like detach it or anything fancy. You don't have to cut it. You just give it a little gentle tug. If the plant is done with that leaf, it just comes right off. What else? I think that's about it. Dead leaves, like yellowing leaves that are the oldest leaf on the plant, they don't actually waste the plant's energy. If anything, they're helping them still. I saw one other question about the juvenile leaves on a monstera. Somebody was asking if it wastes the plant's energy to keep those alive, and if they took those off, if it would encourage bigger leaf growth. And that's also kind of the opposite way of thinking. Like, if you were trying to like body build, if you were going to the gym all the time, do you think that half of the food in your fridge should be thrown out because you should only eat the half that you think is better? Like, my point is, that was a really bad analogy. Anyway, my point is that all of the leaves on your plant are photosynthesizing and providing that plant with energy. The more energy it has, the bigger leaves it can grow. So all those little tiny leaves that have no fenestrations are still supporting the mother plant. They're not wasting any energy. It wouldn't make sense for a plant to keep growing leaves if every single leaf was a total waste, right? So let's just think about like what would make sense for this little planto, and what makes sense for them is for them to keep all of their little happy leaves alive for as long as possible, right? And so that's why when you notice something like this, leaf death, there is a reason, and your plant is reacting to something, and so it's up to us to figure that out, because these guys, they're our little captives, and it's kind of sad, but I love him. I just knocked the camera, I'm sorry. I love him, and I think he knows that. I hope so. Anyway, one other thing you can do for fenestrations, as you can see, this guy is nicely fenestrated on these older leaves, and then this is the second to last one. It has no fenestrations at all, and people might tell you that that's a juvenile leaf, but really what's going on is he had very little light for a period of time. He kept growing. He's a real trooper, but he did not get the light that he deserves, and so I have moved him, and now he's starting to fenestrate again. And that is a key with fenestration. You want excellent light, like as good as you can get without burning them. And you want good fertilizer and enough water, but light is the real key here. So anyway, I hope that helped. Again, firing leaves on any plant. The oldest leaf is dying and shriveling up like this, it means you're underwatering. That's all. Bye, guys.